Hey, how about this one? Let's go take a look a little bit of NHL hockey action. Well, you know something? I wish we could. We haven't brought up the NHL in like the past 5 weeks since we announced the commencement of the lockout on September 15th. And so as of today, today is the date that the NHL Commissioner, Gary Bettman, had declared as the drop-dead date before we begin losing games for the coming season. Let's see what's happening over there in the NHL.
What's the problem now?
Well, let me tell you what's happening, folks. Both the NHL owners and Gary Bettman, and you couple that in with Don Fehr and the NHLPA, you know what they're doing? They're holding the entire fan base up for hostage for the third time in 21 years. 3 times now since the end of August, the NHL and NHLPA have exchanged proposals and counter-proposals. They've pointed fingers at each other. They've made contingency plans. They've postured and they've poured more rhetoric on us than the 2 presidential candidates together. In the end, this is about the NHLPA right now coming off of the current CBA profit-sharing structure that is heavily weighted, let's get this one straight, in the players' favor, 57% to 43%. The owners claim that the league and the teams are losing money with that current structure. Bettman and the owners have indicated what they would prefer is something more like a 50-50, a la the NFL and the NBA. Now, as a novice outsider looking in fan on this whole situation, that seems somewhat reasonable enough to me. So why can't we get movement towards a negotiated settlement? Well, mostly because all of the parties at this particular moment have arranged their golden parachutes. Major stars have all evacuated to other leagues. They've set themselves up with AHL teams, the Continental League out of Russia, or European leagues. They're safe. They're playing. They're getting paid. Well, probably not as much as they would be if they were in the NHL, but let's get it straight. They ain't hurting. Over on the other side, the owners aren't making any money, but they aren't losing any either. Last week in a radio interview that we did with former St. Louis Blues and Colorado Avalanche player and now current Columbus Blue Jackets assistant coach Dan Highnote, he reported about the last lockout that occurred when he was a player. In that interview, he stated outright, quote, "As a hockey player, when you go overseas and play, that's where your head's at. You're aware and you're concerned because you want to play in the NHL. But hockey players are built to be committed to whatever they're doing. I know from my standpoint as a player, as soon as I put on that Sweden jersey, I wanted to win a championship there. Wow, that speaks volumes. There's no urgency here, folks, to get this thing resolved. The players are all safely tucked away in other leagues. They're doing what they're built to do. This isn't even a matter any longer of one side waiting for the other to blink. There's nobody looking at each other. So at this point, neither side is feeling the pinch. The only side that is the silent side, the unrepresented side, the fans. I've heard comments made by some of the owners over the past that, look, when we get back, the fans will come back. Well, listen up, NHL. You're not the NFL. You're not Major League Baseball. You're not even the NBA. And to have such a cavalier attitude about the people that pay the players' salaries, keep your arenas going, and line your pockets with the merchandise that we purchase is not only borders on immoral, it's damn near close to being criminal. And I wouldn't be so quick to think that we're going to be coming back anytime soon. There's my commentary for tonight. Tune in next week when you see what Mike says.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.